The auto market is definitely starting to disintegrate. You might be saying, Kirk, you're full of it. You're just here for the clickbait. Well, everyone's here for the clickbait, but 6% up for the automotive industry. That is for this past quarter. What's more telling is what has happened in this previous month of September. Yesterday, we talked about how Mazda out of nowhere just has free fallen. Well, what about Subaru? Subaru's in worse shape. Subaru is now officially down on the year minus 2%, and they're down 18% on the month of September. And we're going to talk about Subaru today. I mean, meanwhile, you have the complete opposite going on for Toyota and Lexus, up double digits. You have Hyundai and Kia, which I still have to make a video on, up double digits. Ford, up double digits. So we're starting to see some manufacturers do really, really well. Some manufacturers falling off a cliff, and that includes Subaru. Subaru may be the worst performing automaker in the month of September. Here was their only bright spot. This is the highlights. This one bullet point. Crosstrek remains as the top. I can't even talk. Crosstrek maintains top seller position for 5th month in a row. Like, big whoop. What does that mean? What does it mean anything? That's just for the Crosstrek homers out there. Jeff Walters, their president, he's talking about Subaru loves pets by hosting local pet adoption events. That's cute and all, but that's not going to help them with sales, at least right now. Okay, Troy Poston, vice president of sales, said, hey, there's excitement for the new Crosstrek hybrid, the Solterra refresh, the Wilderness on the new Forester model. So we'll see what happens there. But look at the Ascent. The Ascent surely can't keep going on like this. This is abysmal. Minus 26% on the year, minus 47% on the month. There's just so many other better 3-row options out there. The Ascent is probably up there with like maybe the Traverse might actually be better because it doesn't have a CVT. All right, so the Ascent is one of the worst 3-row crossovers in the market, and the sales are reflecting that. All right, Subaru BRZ. Well, there's talks of that the BRZ is not going to get a continuation. We'll see what Toyota will make a new GR86, but it might not have anything to do with Subaru this time around. Okay, now for the Crosstrek. Minus 14% on the month. Hey, what about that huge participation badge of it getting 5 months of a row of best-selling Subaru? That means nothing. Its sales are down 14%. Now, on the year, it's up 8%. The 1 month of being in the gutter does not stop the Crosstrek from still having a great year. But if things continue to go this route, we'll see if it ends up positive on the year. It probably will, but down 14% is not the right direction you want to be for the Crosstrek. All right, especially with the hybrid coming around. Maybe people are just waiting for more hybrid availability. Not quite sure. Forester down. Guys, Forester down 16%. It's about 3,000 units behind the Crosstrek, the Forester, and it is up 2% on the year. It's probably not going to finish up 2% of the year if this continues on, because they're about 2,000 units just for this month. If they have 3 consecutive months, meaning the fourth quarter, where they're down this sort of percentage, they're going to be behind about 3,000 units versus last year. That's crazy. All right, Subaru Impreza. Well, this car, it just feels like it's going to be canceled at any moment because the Legacy has been canceled. And this is the only, guys, what the heck? The only car positive, and it's not even close, the only car positive for Subaru is the Legacy. It's up 16% on the year, better than any other model. But in the month of September, where everything else sucked in the Subaru lineup, the Legacy was up 8%. Don't know what's going on there. I know it's the last year of the Legacy, so maybe people are just trying to snap these things up before they're gone forever. Yeah, rest in peace, Legacy. The Impreza, though, I am worried about this car. Like, this sales volume is just going lower and lower and lower. The powertrains are laughable on the Impreza. I mean, it should have a hybrid at this point. Everything else is getting a hybrid in their lineup, not the Ascent. There's talks that the new WRX will be a hatchback on the Impreza. We'll see. Subaru Outback down 11%. It is still selling a ton of units. Look how close it was last year. This is very interesting. Look at the market shift. Okay, so we had the Outback selling 126K last year at this point, which is right behind the Forester and the Crosstrek, which were neck and neck. Now it's significantly, it's like 25,000 units behind the Crosstrek now. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. When last year it was only 5,000 units behind. So what's happening to the Outback where it's slipping further and further behind what the Forester and the Crosstrek were? Well, the Outback's gotten so damn expensive. That does not help. It's very expensive. They keep raising the base price on it. With the redesign too, I think I haven't seen one yet. I don't know if it's quite out. I'm going to look. No, they don't have the 26s out yet. So maybe to give Subaru Outback the benefit of the doubt is that maybe people are waiting for the redesign, but I don't know if the overall reception of the new Outback is as good as the old Outback. Time will tell though, but this is not the direction you want to be going in. You might be saying, Kirk, hey, it's down 11%, but they're making 11% more money because they killed off the base models and whatnot. Who knows what's going to happen? All right, but the Outback also, since it is the most expensive Subaru that's not an EV, it is going to run into some issues on the market before the other models. Affordability is becoming more and more and more of an issue. We still have high interest rates. People are running out of credit. And so maybe this is hitting Subaru as a whole massively, but maybe that's also why we're seeing a shift from the more expensive cars like the Outback shifting slowly into the more affordable Crosstrek. All right, even though the Crosstrek is down. And when we look at the sales though, not just the total sales in the year, but the total sales for the Outback, it actually outsold the Forester this past month, even though it's behind about 16,000 units this year. All right. And it was the second best selling. So I shouldn't be too hard on the Outback. And I don't know why I've spoken about it this long. Solterra. Well, there's a big issue with stop sale and recall with this vehicle, just like Toyota EVs. Something to do with the defroster not working on them. It requires a software fix at the dealer. So not that big of a deal. But as a result, sales were down massively on it, as well as the Toyota counterparts, and meaning the Lexus RZ as well, because, well, they couldn't sell them despite that being the last month of the EV tax credit. There's a world we're living in where there's a ton of leftover BZ4Xs, now called the BZ, but the leftovers will be the BZ4X. There's a world where there's a lot of leftover pre-refresh Solterras as well. Subaru does have the new Trail Seeker. And what's the other one? Oh, Uncharted. Uncharted, I think, is the CHR rebadge, and the Trail Seeker is the wagon, like the fully electric wagon, which I would take over the Outback just because the design is a lot better on the EV wagon than the new Outback. But I think the Toyota BZ Woodland looks better than them all. Anyways, I rest my case there. WRX, this car, it's selling in such low volume. It is very niche, but hey, look, it's outselling the BRZ 4-1. But it continues to slip and slide and slip and slide. And at what point does it make sense to keep the WRX and the BRZ around? And there's a world where also the Impreza could get killed off, and then Subaru is now just a crossover only brand. And that is horrifying to imagine. Okay, man, I don't know what Subaru is going to do going forward. They finally have their hybrids coming, but while they give you really good fuel economy, it's not best in class, but they do offer best in class all-wheel drive on their hybrids. They are not powered, it's just the right amount of power. It's not going to be able to keep up with the Toyota hybrid, for example, or the new Hyundai hybrids. Those two hybrids are going to dust pretty much the competition at this point, all right, in terms of performance and fuel economy. We still have yet to see what Hyundai's system can do, but the new Palisade hybrid, which has tons of power and torque, is rated at 35 miles per gallon. All right. And here's Subaru with their hybrids, and they're all smaller, mind you, and they're all rated similar with way less power. It's crazy how inefficient Subaru's hybrids are. Is it way better than their gas models? Of course. I don't want that CVT. Give me an eCVT instead and give me hybrid torque and power and efficiency. But I think most people would agree that Subaru's hybrid system that took forever to roll out is a little not up to the standard, I guess, of what we're currently seeing on the market. Now, will Subaru's new EVs help them? And the answer is no. There's no EV tax credit. They're going to be imported from Japan. So as good as the new Trail Seeker and Uncharted could be, you can also get them at Toyota dealerships. And they could be exorbitantly expensive. I don't know. I honestly don't know what Subaru's going to do. They have a new 3-row coming built by Toyota, but that could be an EV, and nobody's asking for that right now, a 3-row EV. I would love to have a 3-row EV van or plug-in hybrid van. Subaru investing in plug-in hybrids, well, they did that once upon a time with the Crosstrek, but that was sadly too short-lived. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe they have something coming at the Japan Mobility Show that'll give me some hope and excitement for the brand. As of now, it's really just EVs, and their hybrids are just fine. It's good. They're fine. I haven't driven it yet, but it's going to drive very similar to a Toyota hybrid because it is co-developed with Toyota with their eCVT and power split device. So I pretty much know what it's going to drive like. Will Subaru bounce back in fourth quarter? I don't think so. I have no evidence and there's nothing exciting coming out at the end of this year to get us hopeful. I haven't talked about tariffs. Tariffs are obviously affecting Subaru and Mazda here. They might have to reduce some models or cancel them altogether because of tariffs. Like I said, the WRX, the BRZ, those are both built in Japan. And I forget exactly how they shake out which models come in from Japan. Some of them are split, like a Forester, I think, is built in Japan and in Indiana. Subaru's getting hit hard by tariffs. Maybe this is an effect of that, or it's the market cooling, or it's just a combination of a ton of things. And that's what I think it is. I think it's a combination of so many things. Subaru's hybrids may be too hard to find and maybe a little too expensive compared to the counterparts from other brands. Subaru's performance cars, well, the WRX is okay, but there's a lot of other performance cars I'd rather have. Just like I'd rather have the GTI than the WRX. I know it's not all-wheel drive, but you know what I mean. And I bring up the GTI because I just reviewed it this week. But I just don't have an answer for Subaru, just like I didn't have an answer for Mazda. I'm like, hey, Mazda could very well kill the CX-30. They could kill the Mazda 3. Mazda's almost in a worse spot because they only have production for one vehicle stateside, the CX-50. Subaru has more flexibility. They can produce more cars stateside. But Mazda's large platform vehicles, which have the highest profit margin, is infinitely better than the Subaru Ascent. Like, that's a joke even comparing them. I'm worried for Mazda. I'm worried for Subaru. So we go back to the scorecard here. I mean, we see some big quarter three changes. BMW Mini up. All right. Ford up, Lincoln down. Buick's a joke, but Cadillac, Chevy, GMC all doing really well. Acura in the dumps. Honda in a little bit in the dumps, sadly. And I don't know what's going to help Honda either, or Acura. I've made videos on that because they just don't have that exciting of a product coming down the hatch anytime soon. It's going to take years for them to get their large platform hybrids in. Meanwhile, Genesis, Hyundai, Kia are absolutely crushing it. I'm going to review it as long as my voice holds up. I'm still recovering this voice since the weekend. But the Hyundai and Kia have so many exciting powertrains coming down the hatch, a new wave of hybrids starting with the Palisade, and they have fantastic electric cars if you're into that. A lot of the market's speaking that most of the market's not. I would love to have a Kia PV5 or PV7 fully electric, but I don't know if those vans are really coming stateside. Anyways, Kia still has the Carnival, but Jaguar, this brand just needs to be killed. Let it die. Just give it some decency and bury it. Mitsubishi, also another brand that I'm like, I don't see any hope. Yes, they have the Delica coming, but outside of the Delica and maybe a Pajero Montero coming, what's going to save them? Letting Nissan rebadge cars with the Mitsubishi badge? Is that what Mitsubishi is going to become? Probably at this point. It is laughable how poor their lineup is. Nissan, as screwed up as their company is, they're fighting like hell to make it relevant, and it shows here. Infiniti, though, don't know what's going to happen to that brand. It's not looking good. Dodge, Chrysler, what the heck? Jeep is the only thing that's pulling Stellantis forward right now. The rest of the brands are tanking. Subaru down, like I mentioned. Tesla down. Audi is at a wash, and Volkswagen minus 6%. If everyone got a chance to drive the GTI, everyone would just buy a GTI. All right. I really enjoyed that car that much. It was fantastic. So, all right. I got to shut it down. Subaru, most of these car brands are starting to lose a little steam, unless you're Toyota, unless you're Chevy. I guess Chevy's doing well. Ford is doing well. Hyundai and Kia are doing extremely well on top of that. So we're starting to see maybe the market divide on more desirable brands and less desirable brands. Time will tell, though, what's going to happen in fourth quarter. And I've talked too long. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.